So welcome to Bhakti Shastri, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 26. So we are seeing the characteristics of souls. So the recap we have just seen is now that the soul is eternally as individual identity. He is a part and parcel of Krishna. 2.12 says that the soul is eternal as the Lord is eternal. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Eko Bahunam Yo Vedadatikam. He is unborn. He doesn't take birth. We can't say that, oh, and give me the birth date of soul. No. Similarly, he is indestructible. He never dies. Soul is immeasurable. We have seen what is the size of soul. It is too small to be measured by any material items. Material means take any microscope. You cannot measure the soul's size. Soul never undergoes any changes. Just like body undergoes 6 changes. We have seen. What are the 6 changes body undergoes? It takes birth, then it grows, stays for some time, it reproduces, then dwindles, and then death. He vanishes. The body dies. But soul doesn't undergo these 6 changes. He is saved. And second is he can never become God in the sense. Prabhupada writes in purport that soul is always atomic and Lord is infinite. So not at any point of time soul can become infinite. He can compete with God. No, it will never happen. He is eternally and part and parcel, whether he is conditioned or a liberated soul. So it comes in the category of non-changing. He cannot be cut, he cannot be burned, he cannot be dried, he cannot be weighed by any water supply. So he is not touched by any matter. He is immovable, unchangeable, everlasting, and eternally the same. So what is the position of the soul? Within the body, soul is situated within the heart. Write down. So his position is in the region of the heart. But universally, if you see, where is the soul? Soul is everywhere. Sarvagataha. You can find soul living in sun planet also. Sometimes we see that some bacteria can survive within the fire also. So he is Sarvagata. He is found everywhere. You cannot say that this planet is bereft of any living entity. It will never happen. So how to perceive this soul? How to see the soul? If we can't, there is a soul, but how will you find the soul? Soul is invisible and inconceivable. So you cannot actually see the soul. No human experiments can conceive the soul. There is no laboratory where we can experiment on the soul. But we can see the symptom of the soul. Soul is perceived by the individual consciousness. We can see if the living body is kicked or pinched, then he will react because there is consciousness. So this way we can perceive the soul. So how can we know about the soul? Only proof of the soul is Vedic scriptures, Shruti. By hearing from the scripture we can see, and then by individual consciousness, we can say. Oh, there is a soul. We can perceive the soul. And how can we see that the soul is there within the entire body? The influence of the soul is pervaded into entire body. If you pull the hair, it is pain. If you pinch the foot, it's a consciousness. So just like a medicine is given to the patient, then it actually spreads to the entire body. Similarly, the presence of soul is, the consciousness is there within the entire body. That is the influence of soul. Prabhupada writes that like sun pervades entire universe and maintains, similarly, light of soul maintains material body. That is consciousness. Till now we have seen this. So we now will see. So some of the characteristics are repeated just to make that point emphasize. अथ त्रैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि. If, however, you think that the soul, that is the symptom of life, is always born and dies forever. So there are two concepts. Always born and dies forever. You still have no reason to lament, O Krishna, O Arjuna. So there are few philosophers like Lokayatikas and Vaibhashikas. What is their philosophy? And of course, Buddhist also. So their philosophy is that there was one point of time where all the chemicals combined together and there is a life symptoms evolved. Previously there was no life, the material world was full of chemical, and at certain point of time the symptom of life was manifested. And second philosophy is that there is no rebirth. At death everything is finished. Charvak philosophy. What is Charvak philosophy? Do you know? He says, if you want to live lavishly. Rinam krutva ghritam pibe. You want to eat lavishly, eat ghee. He said, I don't have money. Then borrow from someone. I have to return them. No need to return. Because if one's body dies, bhasma bhutasya dehasya kuta punar agman bhavet. Once the body is dead, you don't have to take rebirth, so you don't have to pay. So that is this philosophy. That is, at death everything is finished. Now both of these philosophies, if we consider, Krishna is telling Arjuna, the first philosophy, what is that? Life symptom comes from the chemicals. Then at death, what is vanished? What is the loss? Loss of chemicals only. So who will lament for loss of chemicals? So why are you lamenting? Second, if you see that philosophy is there is no rebirth. So never, no rebirth means there is no reaction to all the activities. So you are not following the Vedic dharma, that there is a rebirth for every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. So in both cases, you don't have to lament. So Krishna is just mentioning him, you have to just fight. Don't lament. In any cases, you are not going to be held responsible. Fine. And here Krishna is mentioning him as Mahabaho. So he is telling Arjuna that you are Mahabahu means you are actually followers of the Aryan. You are Aryan means you are followers of Vedic principles. Aryan means one who follows Vedic principles. And one who follows Vedic principle means he understands that there is a life, and in life whatever actions we do that are taken into, if you have not been hold responsible in particular life, then in next life we have to pay for that, whether good activities or bad activities. Okay. So you don't follow this philosophy. But even if you understand, if you take for a instance this philosophy, still you don't have to lament for anything. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो ध्रुवम जन्ममृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहारे अर्थे नत्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. One who has taken birth is sure to die. Have you ever seen anybody in 84 lakh species who has taken birth and still surviving? It will never happen. And after death, one is sure to take birth again. And whoever dies, again he has to take birth. So, therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. This is not in our hand. This is unavoidable. However money you have, however strength you have, you cannot stop yourself from dying. So, one has to take birth according to his activities in his previous lives and die after finishing his terms of reaction. So, past life we have done something, so we have got this life. So, in this life, we have to pay for those, and after doing that, this term, we have to die. And then whatever we have done in this life, we have to accordingly we have to take another birth. This is thus, if this is the unavoidable situation, the death generates no loss in the natural cause of events. This is natural. This is natural. There is no loss. The cycle of birth and death doesn't support unnecessary slaughter and murder and war. So if you can't say that, oh, if death doesn't give any lamentation, then do slaughter. We have already seen. What is the definition of sin? And what is the law of the how can we utilize this particular principle of soul is indestructible? Hare Krishna. So we have seen the violence. We can't put it has to be authorized. Just like judge, he gives an order because he stops the unnecessarily uh, killing of the people. So Krishna is telling that in any case, whatever happens, the Jiva will take birth. If he dies, he has to take another body. And one who has taken birth, he cannot stay. He has to die. So in both way, natvam chochitum arhasi. Don't lament. And 28 says, Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananeva tatra ka parideva. In both cases, whichever philosophy you follow, like you are like Lokayatikas, Vaishyayikas or Aryan, death doesn't generate any loss because before creation there was nothing. Then what happened? Creation happened. After sometimes everything is lost. So all created beings are manifest in the beginning. They are manifest in the interim state and they become unmanifest again when annihilation happens. But the conservation of energy remains. Example is given by Prabhupada that there is a land, there was nothing there, but suddenly a skyscraper is built, 10 story building. But after some time, everything is dismantled and everything becomes again consumed in the matter. So similarly, the manifestation from the earth is the skyscraper. After annihilation, after the dismantling, everything goes back into the earth. So what is the loss? It is just the time period where nothing was there. In between, something is there. After some time, nothing is there. Just like so now we are here. So before say 1940, we never existed. 1940, and say, say 2900. You know, we will not be exist. Will we exist? So will in between, whatever is birth, we exist. So before that we had no existence. After that we had no existence. So what is the loss? But the conservation of energy remains because we have utilized the matter in between to possess this body, to fulfill our desires, and to create our next body. So everything remains. This body will vanish and it will go to earth, but again we'll take birth, again we'll utilize all the matter. The soul, so the conservation of energy remains. Thank you. So Prabhupada writes, if you accept soul, if we accept, now Lokayatikas they don't accept, but now we are accepting the soul. Then for us, if you logically think, then the body is like a dress only. If we are a soul, then our activities are in the body, activities by the body are like a dream only. Isn't it? Because you take birth, you accept a dress, and you die, you reject the dress. So nobody laments for the loss of dress. The dress is torn, you don't just cry like, oh, you accept new dress. Or dream. Suppose you are in a dream and you are supposed to get a lottery. You won a lottery and then you get up and you have nothing. So you don't say, go back to the dream and then I'll get a lottery ticket. So nobody laments for all these things. So this is a very important statement in this purport, that Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of non-existence of the material body. So we have to first, the acceptance of the soul is the beginning of self-realization. Understand? So that is Vedic wisdom. And then we have to work on self-realization. Okay, if I am not body, then how can I get detached from my expectation from the body? First, you identify yourself as a soul within the body. But in from the long time, what we are doing, we are identifying ourselves as a body, and we are doing so many things, and we are attached. So now self-realization means to actually get detached with the material activities and actually perform our own, soul's activities. Supposed activities of the souls are to serve Krishna without any expectation. So this is what is a self-realization, and Bhakti Yoga in the sense. So आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवत् चैनम् अन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वा पेन वेदनच्चैव कश्चित्. This soul is so amazing. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing. So see, speak, or hear about him, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Because the knowledge about soul is inconceivable. How can we understand it? So for that, it is a prerequisite. We have to have, so Prabhupada writes, poor fund of knowledge and one who is not austere cannot understand soul. We may talk about soul, but we are so attached to our material activities that some material sense object comes, then immediately we get attracted. So that is what? There is no austerity. Austerity means to restrict ourselves from sense gratification. So one who is not determined to stop himself from falling prey to sense of gratification. His knowing about soul has no value, isn't it? It is like a just theoretical knowledge. For that, what we have to do? We have to serve one who has actually understood and he lives like a soul. So one has to get mercy of a devotee. Then we can understand about soul. How is amazing? Just one example can somebody give? How the soul is amazing? Amazing in the sense, like wow, I cannot understand. Inconceivable. Just like elephant or a dinosaur and an amoeba, bacterium. Both have souls, they are of same size. One has a in 1 centimeter, they can be 1 million bacteria. And the elephant actually has a huge body. But the power of that soul is same. That is the amazing. So Prabhupada writes that if soul wants, then he can pierce all these layers of Brahmanda, water, air, fire, mind, intelligence, ego, earth, within a second. That is the power of soul. But now we don't understand what is the power of soul. We underestimate. Oh, I cannot lift this. Oh, I cannot do this. I cannot do that. Because we are covered by our own conceptions. समझे? So that is the power of soul. See, somebody, a person can memorize an entire scriptures and become a Vidyavachaspati. Okay? And some can become a dull. We cannot understand, remember anything. Or somebody is so, in various fields, like all these 6 opulences can be, uh, I mean, obtained by a soul by samadhi, meditation, in the sense, he has to understand who is he. So self-realization is a process where we have to uncover our own potentials. That's right. If soul wants only, it can happen. Otherwise, even if soul doesn't want, then even Krishna cannot help him to go back to Godhead. Because he is adamant. I want to stay. Then Krishna said, okay. So there is only one thing even Kala cannot destroy. What is that? Kal will destroy everything, annihilates everything. But one thing even Kal cannot destroy. Huh? Huh? Desire of the soul. He says, you have a desire, then again go back to Mahavishnu's body. Stay for there. Again, another breathing out, you come back and take bodies. Try to utilize you try to find out happiness in matter, like that. So this is amazing characteristics of the soul. So lastly, Krishna says, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam, Dehe sarvasya bharata, tasmat sarvani bhutani, natvam shochitum arhasi. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living being. 84 lakh species of life, they will take birth and they have to die. You cannot do anything. It is unavoidable. And the great point is, first thing, Dehi Nityam Avodhyoyam. That soul is indestructible, living entity within the body. He lives within the body. Body dies, but soul is indestructible. He cannot die. He will remain eternally. So don't lament for any living entity. So this ends the characteristics of the soul. So this is a beginning of understanding about self-realization. Now Krishna gives the karmakanda aspect of performance of the one's prescribed duty. He says, okay, this is the particular thing. Now you are as a kshatriya. A question may come that give an understanding about the kshatriya. What is kshatriya? Here Arjuna is a kshatriya, and how Krishna is inspiring him to utilize his prescribed position to achieve victory. Like inspirational talk. Just you do your duty and you will be happy. Don't lament. He says, this is a karmakanda aspect. Swadharmam api chaveksham na vikampitum arhasi dharmadhi yuddha shreyo anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. So here kshatriya word comes. So we know 4 ashramas, 4 varna, 4 ashramas. So what are they? 4 varna, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and 4 ashramas, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. This is Vedic varnashram system. So here Kshatriyas are a class of person who are administrators. So Kshat means to hurt and Trayate means to protect from harm. So one who gives protection from harm is Kshatriya. One who gives protection from harm, that is Kshatriya. Kshat Trayate iti Kshatriya. So considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. So there is no need of hesitation. By performing prescribed duty, one should gain material enjoyment. There is no sin in that. Material happiness comes from proper execution of one's dharma. And neglect of dharma means material downfall. This is the argument of our Arjuna that, oh, I will lose my enjoyment, loss of enjoyment. So Krishna says, Are Kshatriya dharma means you fight, you will win, then you get an entire kingdom. If you lose, you go to Swarga. That will come. So benefit of fighting means if you win, you get unrivaled kingdom on earth. If you lose, you go to heavenly planet. In both way, you are in a better position. So Krishna is saying, Yadruchaya chopapannam swarga dwaram apavritam sukhina kshatriya partha labhante yuddham idrisham. So before that, Krishna Prabhupada writes in purport that religious principle, because of everyone is benefited by the religious principle by following the religious principle. Now, whether he is a Brahmana or a Kshatriya. So there are, it is mentioned in the scriptures that in the battlefield, a Kshatriya, while fighting another king who is envious of him, is eligible for achieving heavenly planets after death. Similarly, as a Brahmana, he will also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. So, Kshatriya should not become a Brahmana and Brahmana should not become a Kshatriya because it is their psychophysical nature by acting, by accepting certain guna for so many lifetimes, he has adopted a psychophysical nature, so he will become a Kshatriya only and he will one become Brahmana. But if you perform that particular prescribed duty, still you can enjoy. In the sense, you can attain heaven. So Brahmanas, if they perform the sacrifice, animal sacrifice with proper mantra, then that animal can get human body immediately. And by properly performing yajna, Brahmana after death goes to Swarga. So both are win-win. Similarly, if Kshatriya do not hesitate to fight in a war, and if he dies, he is eligible to go to Swarga because he has fought for helping his praja. He has not thought about his own selfish enjoyment. You know, so for that he gets the heavenly body. So that is the importance of following the prescribed duty. And now here, Yadruchayat Upapannam. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of heavenly planets. See, imagine if we know that particular thing, uh, one college is there, and if you get into that college, you will get a good salary job, highest paid salary job. The problem is you can't get admission in. I mean, and the certain letter comes that, oh, you have performed good work for India, and so we are offering you and free seat. What will happen? You have to just accept, taking it, and then you have a bright future. Similarly, Kshatriyas we have already seen. Fight, you die, go to Swarga. If you win, more, Krishna and Dwapar Yuga or whoever fights, when you win the opponent, all the jewelries, all the entire, the grains, everything they used to take to their own kingdom. So Jarasandha helped Krishna and Balram to get so much of wealth because died kings also had a gold helmet and all golden ornaments. So they would take up everything. Taken it. So when you enjoy, you lose, you enjoy. So why you are lamenting? Krishna is saying. Athat chetatvam imam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi. Tatasva dharmam kirtim cha hitva papam amap. So we have seen this till now. Now, if he doesn't do this, if he lose the opportunity, what will happen? If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sin for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So people will say he is a namesake fighter only. Reputation is gone. And Arjuna is not a person who has no reputation. He is the highest reputed archer at that point. Can you imagine? Who has defeated almost to Lord Shiva. He has got favor from Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, and everybody knows. Oh, Arjuna means he can one-handedly he can win the battle. And he has also proved in Virata and so many times. So that reputation will go because the tournament matches he has won. But the final he says, no, I can't play. So people say, oh, he is actually uh, fearful of defeat. People will say that only. He says, Akirti chapim bhutani kathayishyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranat iti rachyate. People will always speak of your infamy. They always say, Arey, dar gaya, dar gaya. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Now somebody may say, हिंदी में पिक्चर रहता, आप मेरा मजाक उड़ा रहे या फिर आप मेरा अपमान कर रहे, तो बोलता अरे तुम्हारा क्या मान है दूसरा अपमान होगा. I mean, a person, if somebody is very respectable person, for him, if you disrespect, it will be very difficult for him to digest because he is a very respectable person. If somebody is standing and everybody knows who is, oh, I know him, and if you disrespect him, everybody will be uh, thinking on his character. Again, what has happened? But somebody unknown is there, nobody will even take notice of that, right? So similarly, Krishna is saying, there are people who has committed suicide just because they cannot digest. So respectable person, somebody neglected me, somebody dishonored me. So that is how honor is there. And you are a most honorable person as per the Kshatriya Darshans. So it is worse than death. डिसऑनर. दिस इज बोला था, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. बोलते अरे इसने वचन दिया नहीं निभाया. तो इसलिए क्षत्रिय मीन्स प्राण जाए पर वचन नहीं. Honor is more important than life itself. And people will say, Bhayad ranad uparatam mamsante tvam maharatha yesham te tvam bahumato bhutva yasasi lagama. Arjuna is saying, but when I don't fight, people will say, oh, he has actually have compassion on everybody. Krishna says, no, everybody will say, you are actually fearful. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will only think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only. And thus they will consider you insignificant. So, if suppose you are a very responsible person for something, and one time you don't follow that responsibility, and next time you go, people will not give you any respect. Are you getting me? Somebody are holding you for some values, and you go there, and he says, "Oh, I don't do that." So next time you go, they say, "Oh, hey, this." I mean, they don't give value because you have seen he's insignificant. We thought he was good. So Arjuna, Krishna is saying, Arjuna, if you do this now, people will consider you insignificant. अरे फालतू का बोल रहे थे विराट वगैरह. I don't know. I mean, वो सब ये हवा में था. So people will not be fearful of Arjuna. अवाच्य वादांश बहून वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिता निंदन तव सामर्थ्यम ततो दुःखतरम नुकीम. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words. So, always Kshatriyas, they don't battle with only weapons. First they battle with what? Words, insults. Rukmi and Balaramji. So they know why they were relatives. But while playing the chess, first the battle started with, Are you are cowards, and Rukmi started insulting Balaramji. Then Balaramji tolerated, and then he gave one actually blow by his gada, and he's finished. The point is, Kshatriyas are very expert in demeaning other Kshatriyas because they won't fight. Kshatriya means they don't want argument and fight. So, if you behave like this, then they will always find a opportunity to say, "Arey Arjuna aya, bhag gaya tha." Are you getting me? Krishna is actually speaking like that. And scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So, hato va prapsasi swarga, jitva va bhokshase mahi. Tasmat uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritanishya. So, just either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. So that is his entire purpose, to bring back his confidence. सुख दुखे समय कृत्वा लाभा लाभो जया जयो ततो युद्धाय युजस्व नैवम papam अवाप्स्यसि. So basically, now here in purport Prabhupada writes, Kshatriyas. So how Kshatriyas to protect someone from harm, he has to raise a weapon. He has to actually harm someone who is harming someone. I mean the innocent person, right? So Kshatriyas are trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is a necessary factor. If there are thieves or those who are plunderers or the another envious king, they will come and attack. So for them, Kshatriyas have to fight. So what they used to do, how they are trained, Kshatriyas, they would go to the forest and challenge tiger face to face with a sword or bare hands. And if they kill a tiger, they will offer a royal order of cremation. So that's how they are trained. And so much training you have got. Now you are within the entire the Kshatriya community, you are the well-known Arjuna. And now the fight is there. You are coming, you are backing up. So it is very um, amazing. It's not expectable from Arjuna. This is the main thing. So all points you have noted. So Brahmana goes back to heavenly planet by performing sacrifice. So why now the animal sacrifice is not allowed in Kali Yuga? Because the Brahmanas now are not that much pure enough to have the Sanskrit pronunciation of that particular mantras of that sacrifice, so that if the animal sacrifice is done, then if that is there is some flaw, then animal is doesn't get any, human body. So that is a he are cutting down his progress of natural progress to human life. So that is a sinful activity. Only the perfect yajna will allow that Brahmana to go back to heaven. But there are no certain Brahmanas now in Kali Yuga. So that's why these kind of animal sacrifices are banned. Doesn't, because it's not beneficial for him, neither for the animal, neither for the Brahmana. Okay. So entire this one question should be answered by from 30 to 37, right? Kshatriya. So how Krishna is inspiring Arjuna on the basis of his prescribed duty of Kshatriya to fight, and it will be beneficial for him. So you give all the points given here. So if you do the fight for the sake of fighting, just fight for the fighting. Kshatriya means to fight. We have seen the Vikarna, Vikarna was a brother of Duryodhan, but he was willing to fight from the Pandava side because he said, no, I don't like, the Kshatriyas are ready to choose any party because they just have to the fight. That's it. But then Arjuna, Duryodhana actually planned, oh no, Vikarna should be here. So he glorified him. Oh, Vikarna is Mahavahu, Maharathi. So if glorification is given to any Kshatriya, he says, oh, I am like that. Immediately. So Kshatriyas are like that. They need glorification. And if you insult them, it is death for them. So this is the entire the psychology of Kshatriya, you understand. So this is a psychological inspirational talk from Krishna to Arjuna. They fight without considering happiness and distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat. And by doing so, you shall never incur sin. So, if we perform devotional service by this particular consciousness, what is the consciousness? There is no expectation from my activity, my action in this Krishna consciousness. No loss, no gain, and no happiness, no distress. In the sense, just I'm doing my performing my duty. Then Krishna actually says that you don't have to pay anybody. In the sense, we are actually debtors. We have a debt from Devarsi Bhuta to Nirnam Pitranam Na Kinkaro Naim Runicharaja. So as soon as we are born, we have a debt to Devtas, Rishi, Pitris, Bhuta. other living entities. Apta, our relatives, other living entities. Why? Because they have constructed hospitals. That's why we get nice doctors are there. So they are also they are they have a we have to pay them in some way. So and after our birth, what they do, the gardens are there. I mean, so many things provided in the society that all those who have done this, uh, we have to pay them. Relatives, Pupa, Mama, also, they also love, they give us everything we have to pay them also. Apta Nirnam, Pitranam, either Apta Nirnam, other people. Bhuta, actually, Bhuta comes in other animals, right? Animals in the sense, just like a bee, honey bee. Actually, honey bee is the cause of actually so many of, production of so many fruits and, fruits. So they take that particular pollination. So if they are not there, then there are no fruits and grains. So we have a debt to every living entity. Kutta, dog, they protect us. घर में कुत्ता रखो. He protects our wealth, right? So and so. Nrinam means other people. Pitrina, Pitris, they give us what? Wealth, है ना? So बेटा तुम्हारे लिए मैंने 10 crore रुपए छोड़ा है. So they were indebted to them. But Krishna says, na kinkaro naim runicharajan. Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam parirutika. If we just serve Krishna, who is the only person who can give us liberation, Mukundam, then we are paying everybody more than what they have given to us. Okay? So that is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse, that you just do your duty. I am a Mukunda. So I will give you liberation. Don't think about Bhishma and Dronacharya. What is thinking? Bhishma is of his pita, grandfather, and Guru has given him everything. So I am indebted to them. How can I kill them? Krishna says, do surrender to me. Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanam. You surrender to me, you actually will please them by killing them. So here the hint, because his main concern is, how can I kill my relative? There are some grandfathers, others are also there, who has given so much love to Arjuna and Pandava. So how can I kill them? So and so. Krishna is giving hint. Just do your duty for me and they will be benefited also. You don't have to think about sins. Esha te abhita sankhe buddhir yoge tvivam shrunu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasi. So now from here we see the Nishkam Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga starts. Thus far I have described the knowledge to you through the analytical study. Now listen to I explain in terms of working without future results. Nishkam Karma Yoga. O son of Pratha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. Why there is a bondage? Bondage is there, why? Fruits. Fruitive result means we think, oh, I work and I get result. So I deserve the result. Means I am the creator of result. That attachment. So the result that actually binds us to again come back. Result. Whether good or bad. You have to just relish that. Sin hai to dukh sehna padega. If good activity, you have to enjoy the pleasure. So Krishna says, no, just do your prescribed duty without any expectation. As a religious duty, it is my duty to do this. Kshatriya, I have to fight. Just I don't think about defeat or victory. So this is what is the next section? Buddhi Yoga is named, you can say. Buddhi Yoga. Fight, but without any reaction. If you fight like this, then you won't get any reaction. So it is Nishkam Karma Yoga or detached work based on knowledge of the soul and relation with Krishna. We already seen that I am a soul who is eternally part and parcel of Krishna. And now, with that knowledge, I have to work without any attachment. So detached from calculation of enjoyment and misery. Okay. Even if you are, I am soul, I am connected with Krishna, but you expect anything, again you have to come back only. So detachment is also there, required. So this section actually involves practical application of knowledge of constitutional position of soul. So this is not enough, or I am not body, I am soul. No, you have to actually apply that in your activity, that nothing matter can give me happiness. That is the knowledge of soul. Fruitive activities, attachment to fruitive activity means to be in a role of enjoy. And what you will enjoy? Matter. You are expecting to enjoy matter only. So subtle matter or say gross matter. So the five indriyas, eyes and everything, that is subtle, gross sense gratification. Subtle sense gratification is pujala pratishtha. So you are thinking on a bodily platform only. So what is the use of having knowledge of soul? So detachment is good. So if you act for the pleasure of Krishna, then that becomes Bhakti Yoga. So Nishkam Karma Yoga is what? Just do it. I don't want anything. I am doing it as a my prescribed duty. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Sakam Karma Yoga, we have fruitive activities where people do enthusiastically whatever they want, but they want result. Mera kya? Next step, Nishkam Karma Yoga. Just do your duty as a Brahmana or Kshatriya, whatever. I don't expect anything. Still, you don't get anything. But that is not Bhakti Yoga. You have to actually act for the pleasure or on the order of Krishna. Everything offered to Krishna. Surrender. Then that becomes Bhakti Yoga. Done for the pleasure of Krishna. Because even in Nishkam Karma Yoga, there is a sense of pride that I am doing. In the sense, there is no other party, other person to offer anything to. Okay. So benefit of acting in this particular mindset is one can work but still remain free from bondage of work. So no need to avoid work if you desire to avoid reaction. So Krishna, that is the one point of, next third chapter will come. Are, if you say act, then for every reaction there is a reaction. And you say again work. So 3 and 3, 4, 5 again is actually churning of this understanding about karma, action and reaction, action, reaction. So Krishna is emphasizing, Are, just surrender to Krishna, me. That is Bhakti Yoga. And if you do it for me, there is no reaction, even if you do all types of activities. Of course, with prescribed. Not sense gratification. So, that is the, so here Jnana is used as a basis to perform duty and not used to renounce duty. So, if you understand, oh, anyway, I am soul, I am not body, then let me not do anything. No. You have to utilize entire the facility to serve Krishna and take his mercy by pleasing him. So it starts from here. Neha bhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya prayate mahato bhayat. So Krishna says, in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution. And a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So that is death or loss, anything. So Srimad Bhagavatam says that Tyaktva Sodharvam Charanam Bhujam Harer Bhajan Apakvata Pate Tato. There are two people. One person who is following prescribed duty, and he gains, he attains material gains. Whatever Kriya, Brahmana, they are doing it. There is no Krishna factor involved. Hmm? And he says, but at the end of life, at the end of that life, he doesn't achieve the expected spiritual benefit, although he follows and perfectly prescribed duty. Second person is there who he rejects the swadharma in the sense not good. And what he says, charanam bhujar hare. He actually surrenders to Krishna and starts bhakti yoga. But bhajan apakvo, not determined enough, and he falls down. Patet tatoi. But Krishna says, yatratva abhudram. Abhudhamu is second. Because whatever he has done in a eternal spiritual term, spiritual benefit, whatever he has done, 10%, 20%, it remains. The first person who has done perfectly everything, religious duty, but there is no Krishna factor, there is no surrender, no bhakti yoga. He may get another body, good body, spiritual, the heavenly body or anything. Say he had, suppose, 10,000 praja, 1 lakh praja, 10 lakh praja. That is material gain. But spiritually there is nothing. So Krishna says that kovartha apto abhajatam sudharmata. If somebody doesn't surrender to me, doesn't perform bhakti, whatever he gains, it is of no value. So that's why you perform bhakti yoga. And whatever you do will never vanish. Never, there is no loss. It's very important. Even Prabhupada mentioned, Christian says, what is the profit of man if he gains the whole world, yet suffer the loss of his eternal soul? He become like Napoleon, or what is that? Alexander. He was conquering the country after country, but he died. What is the use? So fight for that wealth. Again, that wealth which is utilized in spiritual world, which is beneficial for us in the spiritual world. That is spiritual grace. So for that picture comes when the Christian priest is standing in the heaven and the person comes with the big baggage of dollars. He says, leave it here, no need of that. That means material wealth is not welcome there. It is not, it is useless. So perform bhakti. For that we need vyavasayatmika buddhi. Ekeha kurunandana. Bahushakha yanantasya buddhayo avyavasayina. So those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. And their aim is one. The intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branch. So we should not, resolute in the sense that if one is not determined, he will fall back. He will have so many other philosophies that will attract him. Like for example, there are, I don't know, there are 342 conceptions about religion. That this is religion. Kitna? 42. He helping snakes from dying. Jo bhi hai. Cleaning rivers. Stopping pollution. Name it. Just check it out. That is really religion. The conceptions that this is so you can get attracted to anything. Or preserving the old artistic nature of, artistic, what do you call that? Monuments, or you can say the art of making, suppose, or the incense, or bags made by the wooden threads. I mean, there were so many things in India. In India, people used to manufacture a sari which can be folded and put in the matchbox also. But that is lost. So now there is a certain particular team which is actually trying to preserve this, to, by educating people. But I'm just saying, if you get attracted to all these things, then we remain here only. In the sense, that's also needed. But we have to focus Vyavasayatmika buddhi on bhakti yoga. Then we have to get out of this material entanglement. So you have to please Krishna. So then soul will be happy. So all glory is to them. I mean, soul has desire. So desire has to be fulfilled. Then he'll come back to another desire. So unless until we sort of get enough of the desires, material desire, then until that point we will not take up to Krishna consciousness. Understand? Or unless we get a Krishna conscious experience, we will not give up all other desires. Neither of this. That's why preaching is important. To give Krishna conscious experience to the soul. So sometime he may say, oh, this is good, and he may give. So if you don't approach them, they will never have an idea that there is a better enjoyment available. Again, they will just stick to their own particular lifestyle. घोड़ा रहता घोड़े को झाप ये रहता घोड़ा they can't see here and there, just road. So that is needed in bhakti yoga, vyavasayatmika. So preaching, if you do, then we can bring them here. So what is faith? श्रद्धा शब्दे विश्वास कहे सुदृढ़ निश्चय कृष्ण भक्ति कहले सर्व कर्म कृत है. That's what I'm saying. That is what the Shraddha's definition is. Krishna bhakti कहले सर्व कर्म कृत है. We have just mentioned it. That if you surrender to Krishna, you are paying debt to everybody. And Krishna's service includes everybody's service. Just like example is, what are the two examples you can give in this particular concept? Huh? Watering to the root. What happens? You are giving water to the entire tree. And second, feeding to the stomach. You nourish the entire body. Similarly, Achyuta Ija. You just worship Krishna with full focus faith. Then you are actually worshipping everybody, all demigods, all the heaven. The strong faith is that by Krishna consciousness, one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life. That is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. And faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in duties of Krishna consciousness, then he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligations to family traditions, humanity, nationality. We have just discussed this. We can go on and go for. अरे मैं ऐसा काम करता हूँ मेरे 7 पीढ़ी को कुछ कमाना ना पड़े. I mean, that is what one conception. That is family, humanity. Let me clean the earth so that the future generation will have nice experience. That is humanity, then nationality, so on and so forth. Go then. But we are focusing on faith in Krishna. That will bring, to that soul and to others. That is, the shloka is important also. I have mentioned Shraddha Shabda. And Vyavasayatmika intelligence means that only by Krishna consciousness we can be elevated to highest perfection of life, not by any other 342 जो भी है conception. So that will save us from gliding down to the lower species. What is the danger? Mahato Bhaya, we may glide down to the human form of life is achieved after going through 84 lakh species of life. And again, if we do not follow bhakti, then we again fall down to lower species. Just like example, Bharat Maharaj became a deer. A deer cannot do anything, but by mercy of Krishna, he could remember because at a particular stage. But if we fall to any other planet, I mean, it will take time. See, Krishna will always protect Neha Vikramanashu, but he will never interfere with our desires. So if we are in anartha nivritti stage, then we'll have 100, I mean, millions of desires waiting to attack. So if we get another body, how many lifetimes we'll take again to come back to human form? In the sense, then so many devotees may come. Krishna will say, oh, dear. But how the desire may say, oh, Ravi, nature. Sometime it. Are you getting me? So we can't take chances. That's why it is said, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So Mahato Bhayat means gliding down to lower species. Then it is very dangerous situation and uh, probability to come back to human form of life again is very rare. I mean, very suspicious. I mean, questionable. Sorry, that is fear. So, Krishna, once somebody asked Prabhupada that what is in your mind going on? He says, I'm thinking about what is my next, what will be my next body. So this should everybody should think of that. What am I which what am I going to get in my next life? What will be my next body? By that thought, we will actually think that now in this life, how should I act? Again, so ulta, reverse philosophy. Reverse philosophy means destination. Now, it's a very fearful destination. So I don't want this destination. So I have to act in that way. So always be Vyavasayatmika is also very important. Okay. So Buddhiyava at least provides surety of human birth and higher elevation to the next life. So Krishna says, if you actually perform it, then and you remain in the Sangha, actually you become human power. Again, other process cannot do that. Yamimam pushpitam vachaham pravadanti avipashitah vedavadarata partha nanyad astiti vadina कामात्मान स्वर्ग परा जन्म कर्म फल प्रदान क्रिया विशेष बहुलाम भोग ऐश्वर्य गतिम प्रति that now here somebody may have a faith because of Vedas are so vast that and soul is anandamayo abhyasa, isn't it? So the tendency of soul to find happiness and the availability will immediately inspire him to take up to certain things. Again, so somebody wants, he gets passed out, and he says, I want job. He says, how much, how many, what is your expectation? He says, I want 15 lakhs per annum. Then everybody starts taking, he got job. Your friend has got job. He says, how much he's earning 5 lakhs per annum. Okay. I want 15. And then everybody gets job. Then he says, 10. So no, I want 15 only. Then suddenly he says, you are getting offers for, say 10, 8. So you think, everybody is getting it, and then later I don't get, what will happen? So let me latch on to this a person. Are you getting me? Similarly, a person who wants spiritual elevation will always have so many temptations because he knows Vedas now, you know. So Veda Vadarata Partha means the men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of Vedas. Okay, I am suffering in this particular situation. So if I just do this, then I will be having a very nice position. So flowery words means the Vedas are compared to. So the fragrance of that flowers immediately attracts the person who is in contact with flowers. So, so which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to the heavenly planet. So for a person who is suffering on a Earth planet, the expectations of Kadam Kanan, I mean the Kadam Kanan in the sense, the garden, heavenly garden, are so lavish, so tempting that they say, oh, first let me get that. Because liberation is far away, very difficult. So, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. So, being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. So, this is like Bahu Shakai Anantas. So, one, either you can be Vyavasayatmika Buddhi or Bahu Shakai Anantas. I mean, falling prey to so many fruitive activities. So, uh, Prabhupada writes, Vedas are like the stepping stone in the sense, one who is living like animal life. So he has no future. But if he follows the Vedas, he can become regulated. He learns surrender. He knows that there is an authority. And he knows that I am responsible for my actions. And he's inspired to do good activities, progressive activities. But Vedas have a limitations within the universal boundary only. They can't give you liberation in the sense, lift you to liberation. So Vedescha survive aham eva vedya. So Vedas actually take us step by step to Krishna. And end Vedanta means we have to actually accept Krishna, Vasudev, and start serving him, bhakti yoga. Then we can find the ultimate result. So at one point of time, we will see Krishna says, so next 44, Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Aparota Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhona Vidya. So the Bahushaka is there. Those who are even attached to, now we are completely focusing on those who are religious, following Vedas, not any other conception. Even they, so Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktana means completely attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence. And Taya Apuhrata Chetasam. So those people who are attached to this conception. I mean, there are people and those who have an association of that. Where who is your idol? They said, ye hero, ye heroine. You know? So if that attachment also will take you to that destination only. Cricketer hoga ye. Similarly, if you keep your idols like Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktana, you will also become like that. So such people cannot show Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So their determination, resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So they will see there are so many pious people in the India. They know what is, but they say, oh, Krishna consciousness में नहीं जानेगा, वो ज्यादा ही है. हाँ? अरे वो तो everything is no. We want some freedom. We know we are pious, but not too much into Krishna consciousness because there is no Vyavasaya with so many attachments. There is no many conception. ये अच्छा है. So that's why Krishna says, nis Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna, Nirdandvo Nitya Sattvastu, Niryoga Kshema Atma. Krishna is answering, the Vedas deal mainly with the subject matter of three modes of materialism. Highest it will take you to Sattva Guna, but Shuddha Sattva mein nahi. So that's why, oh Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. You become Shuddha Sattva. That is Bhakti Yoga. Be free from all dualities. So, expecting any happiness in this world is also duality, in the sense you get attached. And from all anxieties for gain and safety. So, we have anxiety, right? Whether I'll gain it or not, marks अच्छे मिलेंगे कि नहीं, और सेफ्टी जो मिला है वो बाद में काट तो नहीं देंगे, यानी पैसा जो भी है. We are anxious to earn first. Say like somebody is having 15 lakh rupees annum. Now he doesn't have. So he's anxiety, milega. Then he gets, then for 1 year he gets 15 lakh. Now how can I keep it safe? Again anxiety. First he has anxiety not having money. Later he has money, got money, but now anxiety for to keep it safe. The taxes will come and those thieves will come. So you have to be free from all anxiety and be established in the self. That is your soul. The time limitation, and you have a particular job to do bhakti yoga. Revive your Krishna consciousness by doing Navavidha Bhakti. That is resolute determination. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. So things in the world will never change. We have to plan our day in such a way that whatever is needed for a body and so to live together, do that much. Little further for a backup. But most of the time we should be utilizing for what? To revive our dormant Krishna consciousness. We should be getting attached to Krishna consciousness. Remembering Krishna, serving Krishna. Hmm. So that's why he said, so Prabhupada writes, as long as material body exists, there are actions and reactions in the material mode. One has to learn to learn tolerance in the face of duality, such as happiness and distress. Because body is there, there has to be summer, winter, so you can't avoid that. Learn to tolerate. And by tolerating such dualities, become free from anxieties regarding gain and loss. Anxiety is physical. You can't have control on anything. This transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness, when one is fully dependent on the goodwill of Krishna. So you don't question what is happening in my life. Why Krishna is doing it. Have faith. Loss or gain. So if you have, that is faith. Only Krishna consciousness can give me highest perfection. So if I have accepted Krishna consciousness, then whatever is happening in my life is seen and controlled by Krishna. That is dependence. A mother and a baby is there. So mother actually gives kisses to baby. He is smiling. If he cries, he also gets slap also. But he is dependent. So he knows that slap is also for my good. Again, he doesn't get down. He knows mother only can protect me or nourish me. Getting me? That type of faith we should develop in Krishna. There is no other person who can take control of my life and make me happy. Or can give me always only happiness. There is only one controller. Bhoktaram Yakatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surdam Sarvabhutana Gyatma Mam Shantim Richit. So anxiety will go when you understand about Krishna, these three principles. So Krishna is saying, give up all anxiety. So for that, we have to accept this principle. So yavan artha udapane sarvatas samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijana. If in this process there is a surety, That is, the resource is so big. Just like example is given that there is a well, small well, which can provide water. Again, a well has a resource. Certain, if you put a pump for some time, 1 2 hours, it can get emptied also. But if you are connected to great reservoir of water, suppose a Tanzana अपना ये क्या बोलते हैं dam, then the water which well can provide much more than that can be provided by this reservoir of water, isn't it? Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas, Kadam Kana, I mean, heavenly planets or happiness or fruitive activities, can be served to one who knows the purpose behind it. So, now we have to understand this. The highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge is, we have seen, revival of our Krishna concept. Taken. Why one should Vedasya Sarver? Aham eva Ved. Now, purpose of rituals and sacrifices of Vedas, what is the purpose? Gradual development of self-realization. We know that somebody is not following anything. For him, he has to follow Vedic principle. Chalo, do fruity act. Gradually, he will come back. The purpose of self-realization. Understand? Why self-realization is there? Purpose to know Krishna and our relationship with him. Right? So we are part and parcel of him. And Vedas actually, Vedanta is to know Krishna. Now our relationship with Krishna is, we are eternal part and parcel of that. Means either we are in liberated state or a conditioned state where we remain dependent on Krishna. Now also Krishna is providing us here. Even in spiritual world, Krishna is also only providing. Krishna only is providing. So the conclusion is, revival of this relationship is the highest perfection. Again, I am dependent on Krishna is the highest perfection. Now supporting this verse, which verse? Aho bata swapacho ato gariyan yad jeev bhagre vartate namatubhyam tepus tapaste juhubus shashtodarya brahmanuchur nama grananti yete. What is this verse? This verse says, O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of low family like that of a dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Yeah, what is the criteria he is following? Vedic standards say he is like a very low. He is not in Sattva Guna also. Cleanliness and so on and so forth, what to eat, what. But he is doing what? Chanting your holy name. Bhakti Yoga, Sankirtan, chanting. And the highest platform of self-realization, what we have said, relationship with the highest perfection is, I am dependent on Krishna and I am eternal part and parcel of Krishna. He is only providing to me and I am trying to revive this. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rules, ritual. Why? Because he has come to the highest thing. What is that? Sankirtan. In the sense, chanting holy name. And studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking bath in all holy places of religion. So all these are the Vedic rules and regulations, which can actually bring you to develop your Krishna consciousness. Taking bath, chanting, the Vedic literatures, doing all kinds of penances and sacrifices. You develop in your self-realization. Now and actually by doing this, you become in a Vedic standard, Varnashram, you become elevated. Now such a person is considered to be the best of Aryan family. One who is actually doing Sankirtan and Bhakti Yoga. So his material position is not to be taken in consideration. Why? So he has excelled the Vedas. Nistraygunmyo Bhavarjuna. Understand? So Even one who is born in a dog-eater family, but if he chants holy name, he is considered on the highest platform of self-realization. He is the best of Aryans, and to have done all penances and sacrifices, Vedic studies, holy baths many times. So, revival of Krishna consciousness by chanting holy names of Krishna, that is our main aim. What we have to do? Dormant Krishna consciousness we have to evolve. Then there is a slow process of Vedic following all this, sacrifices, the holy baths, reading scripture and all. And second is direct doing Krishna consciousness, bhakti, Shravanam Kirtana Vishnu. So he is chanting holy name. So in Kali Yuga, we cannot do anything of this. Can we read? I have told you in Pune, there is a institute uh, in which Atharva Veda you can learn in 40 years. So 8 years old boy I have seen, he got admission there. He says, at 48 I will learn. I mean, they will teach him the entire Atharva Veda in what about third Veda? I mean, other three Veda. And then life is so we have a limitations about lack of time. We have no energy, resources, and knowledge to execute purpose of Veda. So, with this particular Kali Yuga situation, we cannot do any other Vedic rituals to revive our Krishna consciousness. So that's why best process is chanting offenselessly. So that is what connect with the reservoir of water. Don't get attached to the well. So that is how Nistray Gunyo Bhavan. So उसको साइलेंट करने आता है क्या आपको? मैं बता दूं उसको ना ऐसा ये करने का। हाँ, पहला उसको ये देखो अभी सबको बता दो। अभी कुछ भी बजा ना, सुनो सुनिए माता जी इधर देखो, ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो ये बटन दबा देने का, वो साउंड चला जाएगा। बाद में ये ऐसा करने का, फिर ये करने का ऐसा। ये जो है ना ये घंटी देखा सबने, तो अभी ऐसा रहा तो बजते रहेगा वो, तो उसको ये दबाने का। अभी कभी साउंड नहीं आएगा फोन। किया सबने? अभी अभी करो, ये ऐसा आ गया। वन टाइम एजुकेशन, नेक्स्ट टाइम बजा तो हाँ गोविंदा में पार्टी देना पड़ेगा। अभी सबको मैं ऑनलाइन भी बता दिया है कि नहीं, क्योंकि वो डिस्टर्बेंस सबको होता है कि नहीं। नेक्स्ट, तो कहाँ थे हम लोग? सो व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि means we have to take to this process where which can take us to highest perfectional position, revival of Krishna. So there is in a conversation between the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Saraswati, there is a question came that who is the highest Vedantist? So Mahaprabhu said, one who takes pleasure in chanting Krishna. He is the highest Vedantist who knows the entire Vedanta. What is his symptom? He takes pleasure in chanting Krishna's name. Huh? Recording? How? You can do that. Of course, why not? You can take anything. You do it as a. So with that, all of you can add to your experiences, and then you can know entire Chetan Charitamrita. Okay. So now Krishna says, Karman nevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangostu akarmani. Now here, Nishkam Karma Yoga, a person who is so, a person, I mean, Jiva, he actually rebels from Krishna. Why? Because he thinks, I exist. I can be like Krishna. So he thinks that I actually deserve the result of what I do. So Krishna here says, so Nishkam Karma means that we have right to perform our prescribed duty, but we are not entitled to the fruits of action. So, Ma Phaleshu Kadati. So somebody say, oh, if I am doing it, so why should I do this? Krishna says, no, Mate Sangastu Akarmani. Don't get attached to the not doing any your duty. Because you have to perform your duty. And next, in between, Ma Karma Phala Bhetur. We think, if I am doing so much, खून पसीना एक करके काम आ रहा हूँ, that's why the results are coming. Krishna says, no, you are not the cause of the results of your activities. Later we'll see there are 5 factors which gives the result, in which Karta is there, but main is Daiva. Krishna. Unless Krishna sanctions, nothing happens. Okay. So, there are 3 considerations here. There are 3 types of work. One is prescribed duty, second is capricious work, and third is inaction. So prescribed duties means activities enjoined in the terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. We have seen that our psychophysical nature is there. One is very good in money. He knows how to grow money. Somebody is very powerful to work. Somebody is very good in management. So and so forth. So it is like our enjoined scriptures, once acquired modes, that is a prescribed duty. वो बोलते हैं in Marathi, येथे हवे जातीचे येड्या गबाळाचे काम नवे, means that the goldsmith is there, he will do, he needs. But if the smith is, blacksmith is there, oh, but that knowledge cannot be used in goldsmith, and goldsmith cannot go into the smith. He needs to. So that is our psychophysical nature. That is our prescribed duty according to one's acquired nature, modes we have accepted. Capricious action means action without sanction of authority. I mean, those who do not follow, that is capricious. And inaction means not performing one's prescribed duty. That is inaction. The Lord says to Krishna, you cannot be inactive. You have to act. But we have to act without attachment to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such action. Because you expect result means you have to either suffer or enjoy. That means you are bound. But if you are unattached, then you just don't get any reaction. Now, there are 3 kinds of prescribed duties. This kind of work ho gaya. Routine work, emergency work, and desired activity. In that, Prabhupada only emphasized routine work. Emergency work, desired activity mein kuch bol nahi rahe. So routine work are like this. That action in mode of goodness, if performed as obligation to scriptures without attachment to result, that is routine work, number 1. Do your duty as one who is obliged to. In the sense, it is like my kartavya, duty. I have to do it. But I am not attached to the result. And second, routine work could be inauspicious work. Work with attachment to results, and then one becomes bound by the result. Routine work can be elevative or can lead to bondage. Right? So any attachment, positive or negative, is cause of bondage. So attachment, so Nishkam Karma Yoga means don't get attached to result. Inaction is sinful. So what is remained? To follow the duty without attachment. Attached, negative, positive, you suffer, you get bound. Inaction is sinful. So only remained is just do your duty as a sake of duty, as your kartavya, without any attachment. That is yoga. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddha siddho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Perform your duty equipoised, Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. To concentrate mind on supreme by controlling ever disturbed senses. Why we are attached? Because our senses demand. You have work, so you have to enjoy, to expect. So that we have to give up. That is Krishna consciousness, real yoga. Giving up one's own sense of proprietorship. I told that in my childhood, I have seen one bungalow. So it was just like you write your name, bungalow name, Sukhat Kunj or anything like Trimurti or something. So he has written Jidda. Jidda means, Marathi Jidda means, I mean, it was my dream, my determination. I made it out. So people get attached, So that is how proprietorship. ये मेरा है. We put fence, the kuta, the beware of the dog. So that we have to give it up. Prescribed duty, giving up one's own sense of proprietorship and everything. And gain and victory are Krishna's concern. I already said. You should have a firm faith in Krishna. Whatever is happening, there is a plan. Krishna's plan. I just have to continue bhakti. Right? That is real yoga. So Arjuna should fight in Krishna consciousness. That's the main. So Vishnu Puran says that aim of Varnashram is satisfying Vishnu. Varnashram is made in such a way that by your prescribed duty, sweswe karmani avirata siddhim vindanti manava swakarmana tam abhyarcha. Whatever is your duty, anything, smith, blacksmith, जो भी है, carpenter, जो archer, जो भी है, whatever, swakarmana tam abhyarcha. Do your activity and serve me, worship me. Then siddhim vindanti manava. What do? You get perfection. You don't have to change the position. Now Arjuna wants to become Brahmana now. Krishna says you can't become a Brahmana. You don't have to. Be Kshatriya and you come back to me. Just act for my pleasure. That's the requirement. What is the requirement? Act for my pleasure. So we'll stop here. Actually, it is 8:49. Hare Krishna.